3 very simple ways to control your blood pressure, lower it to normal levels, and it doesn't take a whole lot of work. Number 1, you have to understand that the blood pressure is a reflection of your health. If your blood pressure is high, there's got to be something wrong with your health. Now, there are some outliers out there where, yeah, it runs genetically higher. That's okay. That's not what we're talking about. But if your blood pressure is high recently and you want to get it down, you've probably been unhealthy for a period of time. And so you need to change the food that you're consuming to an anti-inflammatory concept, a nutrient-dense concept. Now, I don't care whether you go full plant-based vegan or entirely OMAD carnivore. These are 2 extremes of diets, and they all promise the same thing. The way your genetics works is you're probably going to thrive on a particular diet. The key is you got to figure out what that is. But I can tell you this with an absolute certainty, that the plant-based vegan people thrive on what they're doing because of the way their body metabolizes those foods, and their blood pressure goes down. But the same thing happens with the carnivores. Now, both diets are diametrically opposed. They can't both be right, can they? The answer is they can, and here's the reason why. Because both diets omit processed foods. Food that is not food, it's crap. That's what you need to get rid of. So don't get lost amongst the trees trying to figure out what the best diet is. Just stop eating processed foods and pick a diet. See what works for you. If it doesn't work, make some changes. But ultimately, number 1 is the diet has to be good. Number 2, you have to do some type of exercise. Now, certain exercises will stimulate, skeletal muscle and build muscle. So if I do bench pressing and I do 5 to 8 repetitions, I'm going to gain some significant strength. But it really doesn't help my cardiovascular system. Now, this should be a no-brainer, but what exercise helps your heart and your blood vessels? Cardiovascular exercise. And I don't know why people have such a problem with this concept. It isn't rocket science. Exercise every day, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you can do. In fact, quite a bit of research shows that it's not the running or the swimming or the cycling that makes a difference. It's the constant moving around, constantly being active. So some people that have low blood pressure, they don't necessarily sit at a desk for 8 or 9 hours a day and then go to the gym for an hour. They're constantly moving. That's what can work. Now, the third and most powerful thing that you can do in regard to lowering your blood pressure is not your diet, it's not your exercise, it's your level of happiness and your mental attitude. Stress reduction is one of the biggest and most challenging of all things on a daily basis. And I'm talking literally multiple times per day on a daily basis. I get asked the question in my office, Dr. Story, do you think stress plays a role in my, and then insert the disease? And the answer is absolutely it is. That's the problem. Because we can't see stress on an x-ray, we can't see it in your blood work, we can't see it on a urine test, we can't do an MRI or a CAT scan or a nerve test to find out that stress is damaging your body. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of money in it for a pharmaceutical company, and thus not a lot of research is going to be done on this. At least in where I am, in America, we love advanced imaging. In fact, we call it advanced imaging, as if it was advanced compared to non-advanced, which means listening to a patient. But you control your stress, and I'm wondering sometimes, is that a bigger piece of the pie compared to diet and exercise? It's hard to tell, but I'll tell you what, this is the 3-step process. by which you can lower your blood pressure.